In 1971, a 21-year-old woman named Diane Peterson vanished from her home. There was no sign of a struggle, no ransom note, no trace of where she went. For over 5 decades, her family and community were left with the same haunting question: where is Diane? Now, in 2025, modern forensic science has finally provided an answer. But even with this long-awaited closure, the full story leaves behind questions that may never be truly resolved. This is a story about loss, persistence, and the incredible power of science to reach back in time and uncover the truth. Diane Peterson was a bright, energetic young woman, just like so many others with a future full of dreams. She was living in a quiet suburban neighborhood, enjoying the spring of 1971. Then one day, she was gone. Neighbors didn't report seeing or hearing anything unusual. When her family came home, they found her room exactly as she'd left it. Her personal belongings, her purse, her keys, all were still there, as if she had just stepped out for a moment and was about to return. The initial police investigation kicked off immediately. Alerts were issued, and her family made desperate public pleas for any information that could lead them to their daughter. Friends, relatives, and investigators followed every lead they could find, no matter how small. They interviewed everyone who knew her and explored every possibility. But despite their exhaustive efforts, every clue turned into a dead end. The trail went cold, and the mystery of what happened to Diane only deepened with each passing day. Looking back, the investigation in the 1970s faced significant challenges that are hard to imagine today. Forensic technology was extremely limited. There was no DNA testing as we know it, no vast digital databases to cross-reference information. Eyewitness accounts were minimal and often conflicting, making it difficult to piece together a reliable timeline of events. Investigators did have suspicions about local predators known to be active in the area, and they cataloged several potential suspects. But without concrete evidence, they could never definitively link anyone to Diane's disappearance. Her case file grew thicker with notes and theories, but no arrests were ever made. It eventually became one of the many cold cases that haunted law enforcement for decades, a frustrating puzzle with missing pieces. The impact on Diane's family was immeasurable. They never gave up hope, even as years turned into decades. Her parents grew older, holding on to the belief that they might one day see their daughter again. Her siblings, and later her nieces and nephews, who never even met her, grew up under the shadow of her absence. They carried the same questions every single day. Was Diane taken? Did she run away? Could she still be out there somewhere, living another life, completely unaware of their unending search? The community shared in their grief and uncertainty. Every year, on the anniversary of her disappearance, local news outlets would run a story, reminding everyone of the young woman who vanished without a trace. These articles and missing person anniversaries kept her memory alive, but they were also a painful reminder of a tragedy that remained unsolved. The case became a part of the town's local history, a cautionary tale whispered from one generation to the next. For Diane's family, this public memory was a double-edged sword. It meant Diane was not forgotten, but it also meant their wound could never truly begin to heal. Then, in 2025, more than 50 years after she disappeared, a breakthrough came from a completely unexpected field: forensic genealogy. Investigators had carefully preserved biological evidence found with unidentified remains years ago. Using new techniques, a DNA profile was extracted from these remains. This profile was then uploaded to public genealogical databases, the same kind of sites that millions of people use to build their family trees. The process was painstaking. Forensic genealogists began searching for distant relatives, people who shared small segments of DNA with the unknown victim. They identified third, fourth, and even fifth cousins. From there, they started building out extensive family trees, working backward through generations to find common ancestors, and then forward again to identify all of their descendants. Slowly but surely, they pieced together the puzzle, narrowing down the possibilities until they arrived at one family, the Petersons. The unidentified remains belonged to Diane. This incredible scientific breakthrough, similar to what has solved other high-profile cold cases, finally confirmed the family's worst fears. But it also did something more. It connected Diane's case to a known local predator who had been active in the 1970s. This individual had long been a person of interest in several crimes, but had managed to evade capture and justice for his actions at the time. Suddenly, decades of mystery and speculation were linked to a single person. The resolution of Diane's case also shines a light on the broader social and legal context of the 1970s. It was an era with a stark lack of centralized databases for law enforcement. Different police departments rarely shared information effectively, making it easy for criminals to operate across jurisdictions without being detected. Investigative tools were primitive compared to today's standards, and societal awareness about certain types of crimes was much lower. Vulnerable individuals, especially young women, could disappear, and their cases would often go cold due to a lack of resources and evidence. For Diane's family, the confirmation of what happened brought a complex mix of emotions. There was profound relief in finally having an answer, in ending the decades of agonizing uncertainty. But this relief was intertwined with immense grief and a reflection on all the years they lost. The what-ifs were overwhelming. The resolution provided closure, but it came at a tremendous emotional cost, reopening old wounds, even as it closed the door on the mystery. And while forensic genealogy solved the who and what of this tragedy, some questions will likely linger forever. Could Diane have been saved if the predator had been identified and caught earlier? Were there missed clues or overlooked opportunities in that original 1971 investigation? How many other victims of this individual might still be out there, their cases remaining cold and their families still waiting for answers? Diane Peterson's story is a powerful testament to the relentless progress of science and its ability to deliver justice, even half a century later. But it's also a heartbreaking reminder of the enduring tragedy of lost time and the lives cut short. It's a story about a family's unwavering love, a community's long memory, and the search for truth that should never be abandoned. This is the Diane Peterson mystery, a story of loss, decades of unanswered questions, and the incredible power of forensic science. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to our channel, where every crime hides a story.